Hi, my name's John Paul. I'm the president of the New England Motor Press Association and AAA's Car Doctor. And with us is Lance Smith. He is the president of Vermont Sports Car. Lance, good day and welcome to this video. First off, tell us a little bit about you and Vermont Sports Car.
Good morning. Well, Vermont Sports Car is a company I started 34 years ago. We started doing sports car restorations. That is my background, working with exotic cars and very nice older cars. And my passion has always been rallying. And over the course of the first 10 years, I took the company from doing restorations to a sole focus on rallying and motorsports in America. And, this is where I got to it. After 35 years, I'm happy to say we've had a very good run at it. We're involved heavily in rally and rallycross in North America, and it's been a pretty enjoyable ride. I've been completely blown away about our relationship with Subaru of America. 20 years we'll be with them full time. So it's pretty spectacular in the state of rallying, to do something like that.
And, you take some of the Subaru cars and turn them into kind of rally monster cars, I guess is a way to think about it. You do some interesting trickery when it comes to what you're able to do, right?
Yeah, for sure. We've been working with the cars for quite a long time. We've had many different specs of cars and rule changes over the years. But yes, our job is currently we modify them to two different sets of rules depending on the sport that we're doing, and we try to get the most out of the vehicle to be competitive. But yes, this is a serious engineering effort here. We have 70 employees now, and we design and build our cars from scratch. And particularly over the last 5 years, we've designed and built the engine from scratch. So we use a billet block and cast cylinder heads of our own specific design for these sports. Yes.
Now, is developing these cars a little bit like I remember talking to a crew chief from NASCAR, and it's sort of like, well, if it's not in the rules, it must be legal. Can you take some? Is there some gray areas in the rule books that you can, as a engine designer, that you can maybe bend the rules a little bit to your advantage?
Yeah, it's all interpretation, and that's with every form of motorsports. And for sure, our engineers study it at great length. What can they do? What can they not do? And we try to get the most out of it. We work with the rule book every single day, trying to come up with something that somebody else didn't do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It seems like all of the best performers, now whether it's racing or football or baseball, they're the ones that really look into the rules to be able to say, oh, we can do this, and somebody didn't think of that. Does any of the work that you do end up in mainstream Subaru cars?
Well, I can tell you, recently, not in the last 2 years, but prior to that, we had engineers based from Japan here in the building with us for a number of years. And there was a lot of information sharing back and forth. But when it gets to the manufacturer level, I can't tell you what goes in there. A lot of our cars start out as a basic chassis from Subaru, a car from Subaru, and then we alter it drastically. Mm-hmm. So definitely some of our information goes back and forth. I have been over the years, I've been invited to test drive prototype cars in Japan, and that was very educational. And we talked about normal road cars and how in one situation the initial turn-in of a car there was changes made. It felt much more like a motorsports car, and they achieved to make that happen. It was really good. So there's some that goes back and forth.
I just look at the giant spoiler on the back of a WRX STI, and I'm like, oh, you guys must have thought of that. So
No, I'd love to take credit for that, but no. The latest version we thought of, but I think all of that stuff, goes back to, I believe, Dan Gurney, right?
Yeah,
He's the one that created
exactly.
the flip on the back, so everybody went after that.
Yeah, exactly. And you have some pretty well-known drivers that drive your cars as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, one of our key drivers and lead drivers for a number of years here has been Travis Pastrana. And I think it was, I don't know the year, almost 20 years ago, with him, we did a rally school, and we gave him a school. He wanted to be involved with rallying and just test it out. And true story, David Higgins, another very talented driver that has been with us a long time. He was the instructor. And at that time, we were a private team with no funding, no sponsorship. And David Higgins got out of the rally car with Travis, and he said to me on the side, he said, "Lance, I'm going to tell you, if you're going to spend your own money on a driver, spend it on him. The kid can drive." And that's from a international champion.
Right.
He's won several national series, and this is a family here. We have worked for a large number of years, and our work and our what we do is driven by passion. Okay, we love the sport, we love the outdoors, we like all that, and we work as a team. And only because of the team have we gotten here. So when you have a very professional driver like David Higgins who wants to drive and wants to see, you say, "Oh, wait a minute,
Yeah.
take that guy." Who does that?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
And that's the type of folks we surround ourselves with, from the technicians to the executive management at Subaru. That's how we are.
That's amazing. And right now we're starting to see a lot of interest in electric vehicles on the consumer side, but you guys are building electric rally cars, right?
Yes, currently rallycross cars.
Okay.
So we do two forms of sport. We do rally, which is in the forest and on gravel roads, and we do rallycross, which is a stadium or racetrack-based program. And both of those are internal combustion engines for Subaru of America. Last year, we were a champion in both sports, so we have been successful. This year, in Nitro Rallycross, they've introduced a new class, which is the EV class. So every team this year, you have to buy a car. It's a spec car. So it's a very clever approach to introducing normal motorsports teams to EV. So we all buy the same car. The specification is fixed. You're allowed to adjust suspension and air pressures and small items this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then there will be an evolution of change over the next few years where they open it up for our own engineers and our own designs. So this year, the cars are absolutely the same. So if you can imagine a mechanical car, with an internal combustion engine, and every engine in the world is different, even if you build them exactly the same. One's got 2 horsepower more, one's got 1. Well, on the EV side, if they set it at 625 horsepower, that's all you're going to get, and they can prove it.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. I bought 2 cars. Vermont Sports Car has bought 2 cars, and they are for Travis Pastrana and Connor Martell. And both are champions in their own right, and we're going to go after it and see how we do. So that's exciting. 10-round series, 4 of which are in Europe, and it's a major endeavor for us. It's really good.
Now, I mean, you're an internal combustion guy. You like things that explode and make noise and burn gas. Did you ever think that you would start to get excited about cars that are essentially silent?
Never in my life. So I'm I like history as well, and so I go back and I'm looking at these cars that were electric cars almost 100 years ago, and people were trying different things. So this idea is not new, but the functionality and the way it works and it actually does the job, that's completely new.
Yeah.
So I have to say, this has been ongoing for about a year to get these cars going. So I just came from Barcelona 10 days ago from the initial test of receiving our car. There have been testing for months, but I wasn't there. So our car got delivered to Catalonia, to the racetrack, and we went for a test. And I actually drove with one of the drivers in the car, and it was startling. I have not felt that in many years. I can tell you, it's shocking, the acceleration rate, amazing. So it's something completely new. I can't wait for people to see it.
So do you think the instant torque that electric motors make is going to make the type of racing you do even that much more exciting?
Oh, yes. So with rallycross, this is what's so amazing. I think that the timing of this sport, coming to international motorsports, and specifically the USA, the cars coming, rallycross coming, EV is uniquely fit for rallycross. So the races are short, they're a sprint type race, there's a lot of action, they're jumping through the air. So when these cars come out of a corner and they only have another, 150 yards to get going before they have to crest a major hill, this is the car. It was amazing. So I think we're going to see a complete new level of excitement in motorsports with this EV stuff. I wouldn't be prepared to take it on a rally stage, the battery and how long it lasts. That's not there today, but it will get there. This is how we're learning. So it's going to happen. But I can't wait. I think it's pretty.
Yeah. Wow. It sounds like some of these electric race cars could be perfect Pikes Peak climbing cars or something where, where it's all torque and performance for a shorter period.
Yes, and Volkswagen did it a number of years ago at Pikes Peak, and it was astounding what they did. The world had to take pause there and look at that.
Yeah.
We hold the record at Mount Washington, and it's an ICE car, and we think at lower altitudes it would be a challenge for an EV car to beat that type of a car.
Yeah.
But it will come.
Yep.
I think they will be very competitive. I don't want to race one against the other. That's our last run up. I don't know if you saw it. The last run up with Travis up Mount Washington was definitely on the edge, maybe a little bit beyond. That's a crazy road. So,
yeah.
He did a spectacular job.
So, in a lot of cases, people think that it's what happens with some electric cars is, it's like, well, we're not ready for them. They're not going to do everything we need them to do. But in fact, it's steps like this that really prove that electric cars are the future, right?
I mean, I believe it. There's so much incentive, either from the environment or from the government or current trends. We have to look at this very seriously. And the position of my company was, we could sit still with ICE. We're very good at it. We're in a good position in motorsports, and we could quietly just keep going, or we could try to learn something new. We're taking a little bit of a risk. We're certainly investing some real money, but be prepared for the next step. When I built this building, there's an awful lot of electric capacity in the building, and there's 600 solar panels on the roof. We have a conscience too. Right. We're trying. We're going to do the best that we can, and this is just part of it. I do think that the shift will come in EV when we can charge the batteries as quickly as you can fuel your car at the pump. And I don't believe that to be too far away. I mean, it's years away.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, not too far. Once you can do that, I think that you'll see a global shift of acceptance. Certainly the range is coming up. The performance is there. There's a lot of things that are ticking on the box for the normal consumer. Our job here, like I said, it's driven by passion. we've been able to create excitement for the brand and the model, you know, Subaru and the WRX for a number of years. And I'm kind of an open book. I can tell you when I got out of that EV car, I was shocked. It's not going to be very hard for me to explain. This is pretty awesome. You know, when we get to the track and people get there, these two cars we bought, they actually have passenger seats. They won't race with the passenger, but press rides, like for somebody like yourself, it's already done. We're ready.
Yeah.
It's just shocking. You know, you get in there, it'll change your life.
Yeah, no, it is pretty amazing. Hey, if people want to find out more information about Vermont sports cars, what's your website?
My website is vtcar.com.
Lance, I want to thank you for taking a little time out of your day and joining us here for this NEMPA chat.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. Have a great day.
You as well.
We'll see you.
Hey, I think we stopped recording, but that was great. Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. You're going to come and see us at a race?
I hope to. I hope.
That test ride, that passenger ride was a legitimate offer, you know. I'm not kidding.
All right. Good enough.
Very good.
All right. Take care, Lance.
Have a great day.
Yep. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.